I once heard Courtney Love in an interview saying that she saw a concert with you and the crowd adored you, especially Shirley, and she said that women deserved this, but 15 years ago it was completely different and the crowd was really, really bad. And I mean, you're in business now for quite a long time, so what was the main thing, that magnificent changes that happened within the last time, being a woman on stage?
I don't know if I've been playing in rock bands since I was 15. So I don't know if I ever felt that there was a problem for me on stage. I mean, I have not encountered it myself. I've always been treated really well by the audience. Mm-hmm. I think what's changed about the industry is there's way more women with diverse talents who are getting some attention. It's not just one type of female, i.e. a very pushy, aggressive type female, like perhaps me or Courtney. Mm-hmm. We're very upfront, we can fight a man's game, but there's a lot of women who can't or don't want to do that, and they too are now getting some attention. They don't have to stand up and shout and make a big fuss. Their talent themselves is bringing the attention for them on their own terms, and that's what's really important and amazing about the past 15 years, because I don't think that would have happened 15 years ago.
So all these diverse characters
absolutely
on stage.
And it's just great that you're seeing a whole gamut of different types of women and different voices and different attitudes.
Okay, that's wonderful. But I think there's still a lot of work to do for women on stage. And
I'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much on stage, because when you're on stage, you're usually with people, who've come to see you. Mm-hmm. It's more in terms of the way women are perceived in society. It's not just the music industry. Mm-hmm. It's across the board, And it's disappointing, but I think that there is progress and there will continue to be progress. And the strange thing is, though, of course, that when the role of women changes in society, it tips the balance somewhat, because it's always been in favour of men. And now I think men are struggling with, well, what's our place, what's our role? And I just think everyone should just be cool and sit it out and see where things lie, and not get too angry or feel that people are taking things away from them. It's a matter of finding a balance.
Mm. Where there's not a balance, I think, is about talking about sex. If men talk about sex, they do it all the time, then it's no big deal. But if women do it, then it's the big headline. And what could we do if men and women get equal in this kind of thing? Is it more to talk more about sex? Women should talk more about it? Or
no, I don't think equality equals being the same as. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think equality means the same opportunities, the same treatment, the same amount of respect. But I think men and women are intrinsically really different. And so men are always going to be maybe a little more visually stimulated than women, mm-hmm. or maybe a little more aggressive in the sports field than women. Of course we're different beasts, mm-hmm. but it's about finding harmony, living together as equals, mm-hmm. to me. So I don't think it's anything really to do with, well, if a man can talk about a woman's big breasts, I can talk about a man's big cock. Mm. If a man can drink, 50 beers, I can too. I mean, any girl who's trying to emulate a foolish male's behaviour is also a fool. Mm.
But I think it's no foolish man behaviour to talk about masturbation or those things. I think it's needed to talk about it, and I think it's really sad that women don't do it.
I do.
I
do, and I
do as well. Well, I think there's a lot to do still, and I think it's good that women talk about it in public. So. Yeah. You see, you've got a big position as a role model. Aren't you sometimes scared of all this responsibility coming down to you?
Occasionally, you get a bit freaked out. I think you suddenly become aware, oh God, my behaviour may sort of cause some kind of effect in somebody else's life. But on the whole, I think you just have to really live your life in the way that you wish, that you deem appropriate, and hope then that it doesn't cause a negative effect on someone else. I think that's all you can really hope for, because I can't take the responsibility on of 8 million fans. It's ludicrous. So I just try and live my life the way I deem appropriate and hope for the best.
Yeah, because lots of musicians don't do this. They take drugs, they've got their groupies, and they say it public, and I think that's not a good thing to be a role model and, you know.
Well, I would love groupies, but I don't have any, so...
You don't have any? I'm wondering. No, that can't be true.
That's true.
Every one of my friends love that. Can't be true. They would take it.
They would be a bit frightened, though, I think, if they met me in real life.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think
Why?
so. Because I'd eat them for breakfast.
I think so. Yeah, that's one of those things, because, you know, women in rock are always like the divas or the bitchy girls. Do you think you are, or is it more that media made the diva out of you?
I think I can be a diva, I can be bitchy, but I think for the most part, considering the kind of lifestyle I lead and what demands are made on my time, and I think I'm okay. I mean, I can only hope to be okay, you know. I make mistakes, I piss people off, but you know what? They piss me off too, so it's okay.
Yeah. The next year will be a very successful year again, year for you. So what do you expect from this year? What should it bring?
From this year?
Yeah.
Well, we're sort of in a state of shock because we just finished the record. I mean, literally, we got back from New York City yesterday, and I don't think it's sunk in yet. And it's probably going to take us about 6 months to get a perspective on what we made. But I think we're pretty excited. We're going to start gearing up for a tour, which probably won't, a proper tour probably won't start till January, but we're going to start working on the video and probably be doing some TV appearances and things in August and September. And it's I think for us it's also great now to get out of the studio, that we've birthed this thing, and it's time to sort of, you know, come out to the public with it and see if we get any sort of reaction from our fans. And I know that we love playing live too, and that's sort of once you've created the songs and you get to go out and sort of celebrate them on stage every night. And the last tour was amazing, and we're sort of hoping that we'll be able to pick up where we left off and go all over the world again, because it's a pretty amazing experience.
And isn't it like being on tour? Sometimes I'm really scared of seeing, you know, people after 1.5 years being on tour. Isn't it that you think, oh my God, it's again this? Or are you really looking forward to the special kick on stage?
No, it's more
sometimes,
like, oh my God.
Is it? A bit?
No, we're looking forward to playing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we that's one of the highlights of this whole experience, is the show every night. Going to Europe and playing all over the place and all over the world, really. So I think we're looking forward to that. The traveling wears you down a bit, but comes with the territory.
Which territory is the best? I mean, there are different reactions.
Germany, definitely.
German, really?
Every country's different, and I think the coolest thing is that our songs seem to translate to a lot of different places. And as a joke, when we started Garbage, we wanted to be an international pop band. We just didn't want to play in the UK or just, you know, we're Shirley's from, we're playing in the US here, and because we'd never been to all these places. I'd never been to Germany, I'd never been to Spain or France or Australia or Japan or Israel and South Africa, and we went to all these places, and the reaction from the audience was amazing. And that's really what turns you on and keeps you going. As they said, that you get absolutely fatigued from the crazy hours and from the traveling and stuff, but the 2 hours you're on stage every night are the biggest adrenaline rush you get from anything, and it's very addictive. That's why we want to do it again.